Hi, welcome to this How to Beat Bloodlust video. I'm going to try my best to keep this somewhat concise. I want to start off with a very quick and simple disclaimer. At the end of the day, this is a hard level. You're gonna have to find your own way through a majority of it. I can give tips for how to do certain parts, certain click patterns and all that, but at the end of the day, maybe I prefer doing 2 clicks and you might like 3 better. That being said, I will give some tips and advice and quite a few little skips here and there that I personally found to be pretty easy and also quite fun to pull off because it looks funny. So quick disclaimer, for this video I assume you've either played or beaten Bloodbath, and I will be skipping over any of the parts that are one-to-one the same as Bloodbath. I will also be skipping over a lot of the parts that are simply skill-based, like the first ship for example. I have nothing to add to those. Alright, for this part, I can't actually help you that much with it because it's very simple. There's only one real click pattern you can do. You kind of have to do it. You have to be a bit careful for the bush down here. So if you go down too early on this, that will make the click after harder. Which if you're already at the skill level where you can control that, I highly recommend going a little higher into this gap. For this part, the only real tip I can give, I'm not going to be able to tell you how to do it, but I just want to tell you, be a bit careful with these saw blades. They, are kind of hard to see due to them being, black on a relatively dark part. Make sure you really understand where they are at in the level. So there's a little trick here. When you go down onto this platform and you fall down here, you can buffer immediately. So you can immediately click and your ball will actually land on the side of this. And that will give you a very consistent setup for this orb. I do recommend doing it, but honestly, it's not a very hard click in general. So if you don't like it, don't do it, I guess. This UFO is nerfed ever so slightly, making it a lot more consistent. So that's a big W. Unfortunately, a lot of this level is very skill-based, so I can't really give you any advice besides just get good, I guess. It really just unfortunately is that way. So, alright, we get to one of the harder parts of the level. So you want to be careful with this first orb in the ship. Let's get a good start position going. If you hit it too late, this happens. So you want to hit this orb a little bit on the earlier side. So there's this funny thing you can do where you skip that second orb. I did not do that personally. I didn't think it was necessary. Hitting that orb is fine, but it's a thing you can do. So, we're at this green orb now. The only piece of advice I can give for you for this green orb is just try to find a consistent way to hit it. You can hit it very late, very early. I'm pretty sure almost every frame practically works for it. Just make sure it's somewhat consistent for yourself because the transition out of the way you hit the portal and all that will very much depending on how you do it, it's gonna affect this section. Alright, so for that yellow portal, that's actually quite a hard part to deal with, in my opinion. I think you should fall into it. That is the way I do it. I kind of dip down, whoop, fall into the portal, and then continue to straight fly, like this. You see what I'm doing? 1, 2... That is, in my opinion, the best way to do that part. That's just a normal way where you hit everything. What you can do, though, is skip this orb, but hit this one. So you go like this, and you do that. Maybe worth investing your time into figuring out if that's something you want to do. Alright, so here's the shipyard at the end of Etzer. I approached this fairly simply. I did 2 clicks in this portal, 2 in the one after, and then 1 in the one after. So I'll show you what I mean. All of this is relatively easy. There's a funny skip coming up here, actually. You can fall off of this platform, land on the edge of Havoc, and click off of this and just hit the yellow orb. So, like this. That yellow orb is, pretty difficult, honestly. I think a lot of Bloodlust victors get PTSD thinking about that click. Make sure you go up a little bit late here. You don't want to click immediately, you want to wait a little bit. Also not wait too long, because you can hit that spike up there, and that will ruin your attempt. But just basically click almost as you land. Wait just a tiny little bit. First skip of the extension incoming. You can hit this blue orb, I was about to say pink, and hold basically all the way to the green orb down here. You don't have to do a separate click for this yellow orb. I'll show you what I mean. Hold. So, you do this, click, click. You can choose to click at the end of this and go all the way over here without having to do an extra click. Probably easier to do the one long click in my personal opinion, but that's a preference thing. See what works for you. That's how you do it. all of this, like, this wave is incredibly difficult, honestly. I think some people do this thing where they do, like, an extra click here. I, honest to God, don't remember if I did, but nowadays, I probably would do that. I like doing it that way. It feels like I have more control over the click after, like, just a click. It's just easier to control. Here, don't go up too high. It'll give you a terrible setup for the UFO. I went with a very clicky pattern. So what I did was, like, hit the green orb, click before this portal, click twice, and then perform the rest of the clicks. So, I'll show you in full. That's how I like doing it. Now here you click. Again, don't overcomplicate the ship part sometimes. I've seen people who didn't know about the yellow orb here for some reason. It's a thing, you hit it. You don't have to hold after this and do some crazy movement. It's actually really easy. So just do this. This green orb here into this, like, ship part, honestly, it's really hard. I didn't really have any, like, tips or tricks for it. Just hit it at the right time and pray, I suppose. For the corridor, I also can't really help. It's kind of just, you just do it. There's not much of a skip here or anything. Same with this part. Just do the part normally. Now we get to a funny skip here. What I'm about to do is, after this blue orb, not portal, I will be holding into the wave, and you'll see why. You can go up here. I do recommend doing this, it's just genuinely pretty easy. Don't go down too early though, you do have to wait a little bit longer, but yeah, you can just, wait, let me make sure I play from here. You can just hold into this, and then, yeah, perform that part that way. All of this is, you just have to find your own pattern. Now there's a very important part coming up here. For some reason, a lot of people don't know how wave interacts when it transitions into other portals. When you hold into this ball, you do not have to click again for this orb. You can, like, when you click here, just hold for the orb. It's a buffer anyway. You do not have to click it separately. I'll show you. You just hold into it. It'll just perform the click for you. So don't click it separately, please. Now, in this part, I'm going to turn on hitboxes real quick. And I will probably keep them on throughout the remainder of this part. As you can see up here, there are no solid structures in this section. You can go over this spike. I actually did that in my own completion. Yeah, it's quite funny. I really like that that's a thing you can do. So I do recommend just going over it for fun. Literally just for fun. It's whimsical and funny. Now, here comes the unreasonable one. Don't do that. That's hard as fuck. But it is really funny. If you have balls of steel, or this is just not a level that you'll struggle hard on, probably, then fuck it. Be the goat and do it. Otherwise, probably don't. And then for this, it's all just skill-based. I know there's this trick that a lot of people do, where they jump up before the ending triple, because then the text saying noise appears, which people use as a visual indicator for the jump. I will be doing that without hitboxes real quick, just to give you an idea. Like, it basically tells you where the triple is about to appear. Oh, wait, I have to jump a little later. There you go. Like, people use that as a visual cue. Personally, I am a little more hardcore, so I decided not to do that, because I thought it'd be cooler if I happened to die there. It would be a cool life story. I never died there, thankfully. I'm way too good at the game, apparently. I don't know. But yeah, you can use it as a visual cue. Do I recommend it? Meh, I don't know. I think it's the less cool way to do it, but it's still a thing you could do. So, that's Bloodlust, honestly. That's about it. It's a very fun level, in my opinion. I think it's a good level to go for as a hardest as well, especially if you have experience with a ship. In Eric's case, having beaten Yada and Cybernetic Crescent, I honestly doubt this level will give him that much trouble. I know he thinks it will. I have no doubt he can do it, and I honestly don't think it will be that crazy hard for him. I think he got it in the bag. If you want a recommendation for what to do after this, do Thinking Space. That will make you like the GOAT of all time. Goodbye.